This is one of the country's main flight simulator facilities. Would-be pilots come here to train for a career in the skies. Commercial pilots too need to use these simulators to carry out checks every year. But if they're to carry passengers, they also need to have carried out a minimum of 3 takeoffs and landings in the previous 90 days. And at the moment, that's not always possible, in the air at least.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
For these two pilots, flying commercially is the dream job.
Ever since I was a really young kid, I was on a flight to Italy with my family, and I was allowed to go up to the cockpit in the middle of the flight. And I'll never forget it. The captains showed me everything. They let me, ask loads of questions, pointed at all the screens, and ever since then I've wanted to be a pilot.
Landing gear?
Up and off.
Recent graduates, neither has had an interview in nearly a year.
I quit my job to pursue the airline training, and it was just unfortunate that when I finished and obtained all my qualifications that the pandemic hit, and it was sort of a perfect storm really since then.
It's a storm that's left many hundreds of Irish pilots jobless. Placed on furlough during the first lockdown, Captain Mark Cunningham was later made redundant. He's now relocated to the UK, but his family is here.
Out of my colleagues that were made redundant in Dublin, I'm the only one that's flying at the moment.
Have you ever seen anything like this in the industry before?
No is the short answer. I've been working in the aviation industry since '98 and I've never seen it as bad as this. There have been ups and downs in the past before, but nothing as catastrophic as this.
Fewer planes in the sky means there's less chance for pilots to log flying miles, a requirement under aviation regulations.
The big challenge at the moment is actually keeping those licences valid for the pilots that we have in our employment. We were using simulators in Madrid, in France, and we found over the last few months, with challenges surrounding travel to different areas, we needed to plan ahead a lot to see where the threats were and to see could we get our pilots to these areas to conduct their training safely.
Many of the pilots who are still working are earning a third or a quarter of their salary.
Many pilots are now directly renegotiating with their mortgage providers and other financial institutions. You have families that are in very bad shape with regard to paying the bills.
To train as a commercial pilot costs over €100,000. But these two pilots are confident they've made a good investment.
Climbing straight ahead, 3,000 feet. It doesn't seem like there'll be much change, certainly the end of this year into next year. So, but I remain hopeful.
There's lows and there's ebbs, but we're coming down at the moment, and it has to come back up eventually.
Sharon Tobin, RTE News.